shapeshifter. Look, and it just turns into little tiny baby footprints. Just little tiny baby footprints. Hello, 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 and hello, everyone. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes, but you haven't got a clue. Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Oh, oh, keep your head up. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. All right, y'all. So welcome. Welcome, welcome, and more welcome. All right, so we finding out new things. So I'm going to just say, don't ask me why. The lighting that I have right now, right? In this particular location. Bless you. I didn't even realize, y'all, that some of the lights that I have, that I even have. So why are you throwing signals if you are on the charge? All right, good morning, everyone. I love y'all. Hopefully, excuse me, that's going to do you well. Hopefully you're doing well. Happy Thursday. I'm going to say, on today's menu, one of the things that is happening is accountability, right? And y'all know how I be explaining to y'all stuff. And so my moment today was something happened. And I'm going to just say, something simple. I was on live. I got up this morning and I decided that I was going to come to y'all, and I felt good. Like, I felt really, really good. I still feel really, really good, right? And I was doing what I was doing, giving, information about me being here, me doing, all this stuff that I was doing. Lo and behold, something happened where somebody else being around did something. They didn't intentionally mean to do it. Well, yes, they did, because they went to go do what they needed to do. Anyway, what happened was, long story short, it created an issue for me that I didn't know. So after I got done, it said, you got a warning for this, but it could just be a violation. So take it how it resonates, right? So something happening to you because of what somebody else has done. But mind you, you have to be accountable for yourself to be able to say this happened, and like being able to articulate yourself or explain why to somebody, the connection. This is what happened and the reason why this happened, but now you have to figure out how you have to figure it out. So I'm gonna tell you the story and then y'all go into that. So this is what I'm saying. They turned on the car. What happens in the car is it pulls the live, right? Pulls the audio. So when it pulls the audio, I'm talking and the thing that I was showing ended up, there's no audio. It was a brand new thing, and I'm saying I was excited to be able to come to y'all and say this, right? So take it how it resonates, put anything that you're dealing with in there. I was excited to say, to show y'all, but as I'm talking, now there's no audio, but nobody's saying to me, you don't have audio, like you're not being heard, right? I'm explaining it, I'm showing it, and then now nobody is there to say, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So the person, you know, where it would be saying, I can't hear you, this would be the equivalent of you speaking to the universe. Or maybe you feeling like, okay, I'm talking to God, you know, about something, and you thinking that God don't hear you, the universe don't hear you. Meanwhile, you delivered the message and the message was good, but you feel like you're not being heard. So there's a thing that we talked about yesterday when, you know, prayers going up. Good morning. Thank you. When your prayers are going up are being sent out because you know, you're talking to God, you're talking to the universe, you're saying, God, I need you. Or I need you to fix this situation, or I need you to move this situation for me, and nothing's taking place. But meanwhile, not realizing that there is something taking place. Stuff is actually happening. It's just the alignment, and maybe it's not going fast enough for you, or maybe you don't hear, you don't see the signs. Such a great story. Sorry you got warning though, but brilliant point of view. Yes, because it's the way we see things, but also the way things are being orchestrated. So I did nothing wrong, and the person didn't intentionally, you know, mean to pull that audio. But also the issue is that the person didn't take the time, because you may take time to see stuff. You may cross your T's, dot your I's. You may be doing everything perfectly right. Meanwhile, now there's somebody else that comes along, and because of their actions, it now affects you. And so sometimes we don't say anything to people about these things, right? Sometimes we just go along with, you know, okay, well, it's, you know, this happened, or, you know, it was this. But if you start to notice over and over and over again that stuff only happens to you when certain people, places, or things, people, places, and things are in the midst, what do you do? What do you do then? Do you, like, this is the time when we make a, I don't want to say, maybe I think the word is provisions or something. So what I did was I ended up pointing it out, right? I ended up telling the person, do you see, like, and I can give you another example. I told y'all yesterday, I am 49 years old. And in my 49 years of life, my insurance has only ever been maybe $200, $300 at the most. It should not be that I'm 49 years old paying $479 in insurance. That doesn't make any sense. The older you get, the lower it's supposed to go. But let me tell you what happened. So in the process, my son got in an accident. My youngest son got in an accident. A deer ran into him. And y'all know how deer be. You can be going and all of a sudden here they are. A deer ran into me a long time ago in my 20s. So I get it. It was not his fault. But the fact of the matter is now I'm being penalized because regardless of whether or not I was in the car or I was there, the insurance company is now blaming me because I allowed the person to use my car. Does that make it right? No, because if the car is being insured, then the car is being insured. But to me, it's almost like they're trying to get back all of their money, the money that they had to pay out. But no, never mind that I've been paying insurance since I was 18 years old or 17 years old when I got a car. So I should have accrued enough money, monetary, you know, whatever, inside the bucket for in case anything happened that would cover me. You see what I'm saying? But meanwhile, the way this system is set up, and this could be also where a lot of the misalignment or things of that nature come in, because they shouldn't be allowed to do that. If you have been paying insurance since you were 15, because a lot of, like, I live in Georgia, they get insurance when they 15. So if you have been paying insurance when you 15 or 18, let's just say that, right? You would think that by the time you get 20 something and you get in your first accident, you have accrued this much money from this year to this year to this year to this year, which, you know, I don't know how much insurance will be, but let's say like maybe $1,000 or $2,000 maybe a year or something. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Even if that was the case, you would have $5,000, right? So even if it was $1,000, which we all know it's more, because some of y'all are paying upwards of, you know, maybe $2,000 or, you know, whatever that is a year. I don't know. But at this point, if I'm paying $500, that's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So that would be $6,000 a year that I'm paying. So 6 times 5. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's almost like this system or whatever this is taking more out of it than what they're putting back. Mind you, they're not letting us do that. So here's something that maybe y'all should look up, and, you know, I'll look it up if I care that much too. But I was watching something yesterday, and they was talking about how in different places that when a child is born, they start accruing, like they start giving them a certain amount of a stipend or an allotment or something is what it is. And so by the time this person turns 18, this is the amount of money they get given, right? But mind you, our particular location is taking money from our system and funneling it over there to that system. And meanwhile, when they turn a certain age, they get this. But it's coming from you. And so at this point in time, it's like running in a, is that a deficit where it's like you're being taken from in order to give in a different place, but it's not adding up. So something about the system being uneven, or something about the system not working the way that it actually should. Because she said, definitely agree. Take care, hun. Got to go. Nice meeting you. You too. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And so it's a lot. Like when you start to look and see, like, okay, this could potentially be messed up, or this could be potentially not right. And then it goes into favor, right? Because favor is not fair. Favor, let me get the definition of favor. It's like when they say you found favor with God. And although it could be where a system or something is to, you know, try to take from you always, but God tries to make sure that it averages out. So you may be being taken from on this side, but God making provisions to give you on the other end. And so it does this thing where it balances itself out. Oh, just so y'all notice, I noticed that this platform is also acting as the same as another platform, because I saw that it's doing a thing where you can be gifted now inside of the system. So if y'all see that, it's because we're on a new system and a new platform, okay? Same platform, but new system, which creates a new platform, all right? So take it how it resonates for you. So favor is approval or support that brings benefit, advantage, or kindness, often without being earned in a transactional way. So you already did the work, though. That's the thing. So God watching, seeing that this system has taken from you in so many different ways. So a girl the other day, she came online and she said she has 100,000 followers on her platform. Meanwhile, she's homeless, right? That's what she said. She's about to be homeless. She was making her final video. She's walking out of her house. She's about to go to the streets now, right? Now, somebody that's seeing that is, could be insensitive in a way, and they could say like, well, what did she do? And it could be like, what did you do with, the cash that you was making, da 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 da, or what did you do when in this situation? That could be a thing, or we could all start to notice that a lot of us, like if you go and you're paying for food on a daily basis, because I laughed at my son one time because he's an adult now, but when he was 15, most of his money was going to food. And so he would always want to eat, this or that, McDonald's, Wendy's, da 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 da. But after a certain amount of time, it starts to accumulate to be a lot in the end, right? And so it seems like where a person's saying, I have this, but also this is happening to me, somebody else will look at it and they will be like, well, the person didn't, manage or budget or do whatever it was they were supposed to do. We don't know. It could be any circumstance. You could have gotten, sick in a situation. You could have, anything that could have brought you down. And right now, a lot of people are, home. And a lot of people are trying to figure it out. So a lot of us are not judging or could not have done. We're just looking at what you bring to, the table, I guess, because that's a lot of the things that what people say. And so you could be trying to figure out how what's my next move, right? What's my next move? Like, God, what do I need to do next? And sitting still and trying to listen when you're in, I need to have this, or the kids need to have this, or, we start to try to do instead of maybe just listening to what's happening. Like, I got to take a break. I just got to sit here, because being in this system, you don't want to sit around and wait until you want to figure out what to do. But the thing is, if God is saying favor ain't fair, I'm going to show you favor in your life. Yes, I know that happened. Yes, I know that system has done this, but I just need for you to spot the synchronicities and the signs. And if you're moving, you're doing, just trying to figure it out because your system is saying, I gotta, but God is saying, this is the moment to sit still. This is the moment for you to be able to let God be shown through you. Like, you might not have it. You might not be able to do whatever it is that you might not have the energy. How about that? It could just be as far as energy, because as we know, everything is energy. So right now it seems like there's a lot of new people here, because I see like, so you might not know, when the people say, I'm tired, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And if you're saying you're tired, don't wonder why you're tired. So I told the group, we no longer say that. We say we're ready. We're ready for whatever's next, whatever's to come, whatever is about to happen. And God, thank you for waking me up. Thank you for showing favor. Thank you for keeping me. Thank you for holding me. And anything that we're going through, love where you are. And I know people, you might be like, girl, hey, welcome. Thank you for being here. Like, you are not going through something. So how you're going to say that? In fact, everybody is. No matter what it is, if you are a part of this system and you are a spiritual person, you could be feeling the weight of the whole entire system. So in turn, I describe it as, it's like the best of times and the worst of times, right? And so you have to be in the middle. I could be going through my own stuff, but guess what I still have to do? I still show up every day to put good energy into the system to let you know that this too shall pass. Whatever we are going through, this too shall pass, right? And also here, it's a situation where the people are trying to divide and conquer, right? Divide and conquer. And if we allow that, then, of course, you know what happens there. But if you each one teach one and we're supporting and we're trying to figure out, what's the next way or how we're going to go, it's going to be a better scenario. And I'm saying this because yesterday, apparently there was a lot of words that are being removed from the system, right? And I was confused because as the lady was saying the words, like, you can't say this and you can't say that and this and the third. But mind you, we live in a system that's supposed to be freedom of speech. You do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. So if we live in a system that is supposed to be freedom of speech, why are words being removed? Because the system is starting to try to figure out how to change and what they're about to do, right? And they're only going to be allowed to do what we allowed them to do. So if we allow these things to happen, because they can say whatever they want. But mind you, on the flip side of that, we can either agree or not, right? So whereas the people who are sending their kids to whatever institution that is, and that's what they're being taught, then that's what your children are going to be taught. It's like when I said in cursive. And so a lot of new people don't realize I'm a writer. So I can write some stuff and I can tell you, you know, this seems to be the upside down. Like this is, I grew up in the Twilight Zone, like, you know, with that being a show, right? The Twilight Zone. But for some reason right now, it seems like we're living out the Twilight Zone. So up is down, down is up, and everything is being inverted, right? And so if you can train your mind, because this is going to be the way to help you. Because right now, I tell everybody, like, I feel like everybody, we don't know what's going to happen, the effects of what everybody has done. I love you. Have a good day. That's my son. We don't know the effects of everything that's happening right now until like 20 years from now, or 10 years from now, or 15 years from now. It has to take its time. It has to, you know, go through time in order for us to be able to tell what toll this particular situation has had on all of us. And every day we're waking up in a system where they're mad. And to me, I'm wondering how you could be mad when you're in control of a system where you could have woken up and chosen great things to do. You could have woken up and chosen, like, y'all, I'm a deliver these seeds to, you know, neighborhoods and families, and this is what I need for y'all to do. Go outside and start planting these trees. Like, the person that is in control right now, they could change everything. And they are. But for some reason, it seems like they are doing, you know, maybe the worst of things. The only thing that also in this system is the truth is being told, right? And I said, and I keep telling y'all, that as long as the truth is being told, we as a people can make informed decisions. So we may not like what's being said, but as long as it's the truth, we can now utilize that to our advantage. So it's okay when a person don't want to, right? Like if I say no, no is a complete sentence. That's it. I don't have to explain why. I don't have to, you know, offer anything else. The answer is no, right? But as long as I'm being told the truth, I can say yes, I can say no, I can say, you know, whatever it is that I want to say. So we can't be mad at people telling the truth. So people be upset when this group over here says, I don't want to be around you, right? Because that's a big thing right now. But in all actuality, that's okay. That should be okay. As long as you're not trying to put your foot on somebody else's neck and you're not trying to hold somebody else hostage to your situation. Because just like you have free will to do, you know, say, I don't like you, or I, you know, love you, or whatever, I should be able to say, I'm not doing that. And the only issue that comes in is when the group of people that says, I don't like you and I want to exclude you from the system. Well, you can't be the leader of the whole entire system. You can only be the leader of your stuff, okay? Because how could you want to be the leader of something that you don't care about? Or that you're not going to, you know, I tell y'all every day on my channel, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. No matter what you want to do, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. You have to know firstly what you want to do. Like, that's one of the biggest things. What do you want to do? So in this moment in time, I keep saying we are at the best point in life. Best point in life. And I'm going to tell you why. You now get to see how people, you know, really want to handle you. You are being told the truth, and you get to be able to make informed decisions and move accordingly. But you have to also hear the people when they're telling you what they're saying. And that's where and how we got to this, right? Because they heard it, but they said, that's not what they meant. That's exactly what they meant. So when the actions are being followed out and laid out in the plan, you already got told that. You got told that this was going to happen, this was going to happen, but somehow we feel like we're excluded from, what they said, because we have favor. God don't play about me. So we have favor with God, but we might not have favor with these people or this situation or this place. But the favor from God says, I'm going to give you the truth and you make an informed decision. So remember when I said, how are y'all people not hearing when this person said, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. And then everybody acts like they're shocked. No, that person said that. You can't act like you're shocked when you were already given the truth. Just because you let it go over top of your head, or just because you didn't want to believe that I told you I was going to sit in front of you, cheerleader. I don't care what you're doing, as long as you're doing what you want to do and it's not impacting somebody else, do what thou will. So if you want to take your group of people and you want to move over here to, Timbuktu, all for you. Hopefully it works out. But there's no way that you're going to, from Timbuktu, tell me and my group what we want to do either. So now we have to figure out how the new system is going to work, right? We have to figure out a plan for the new system. So if in fact the system is going to be what it is, now we have to make another informed decision. Do we want to play with this system? Do we want to, be under the system? Do we want to be with the system, or do we want to make our own? So once we decide that we're going to make our own, or we're going to do whatever it is, if this system over here now tries it, like, now I want to force y'all to do something. No, that's against the rules, because if my free will is a thing, my free will said, I don't like that. My free will says, I don't want to live around that. And don't think that, again, I'm going to keep saying it, it's not a this or this. It is a energy. It is a humanity. It is a collective. Because my energy might not match with that energy. And I don't care what it is. My energy is love. My energy is equality. My energy is even. But that word got taken out. That word got taken out. So how do I now articulate myself without saying things should be even or equal? What am I supposed to say? Remember I said the power of life and death is in the tongue. We have to be mindful of the things that we speak, the things that we say. They're now trying to control what we say. Why? Like at some point in time, we all have to, it don't matter where you are and what side of the team that you play for, you have to make an informed decision to say something is either right with this or something is either wrong with this, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it, because if you want me to pick this side, you want me to choose this, be mindful of your thoughts even. And that's a total fact, because even your thoughts, I thought something one day, and I told them this already. I thought something one day. Mind you, I didn't say it to anybody. Lo and behold, the next day it happened. That's how fast your thoughts, your words, and everything are manifesting into this realm. And depending upon who you are and how in tune or in touch or tapped in you are, certain things can manifest at the drop of a dime. So you thought of a person. Where's this person? Or, oh, this person is da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, then the next day the person shows up. You ain't seen the hide nor hair of this person, but the minute you thought about them, all of a sudden, they manifested themselves. Now they show up at the store, which actually happened. And so I was saying something about a person, like literally thinking about them, because I walked into the store. This person reminded me of this person, which made me think of a girl that has like a name that, nobody would even think of. The lady's name is Sarah Wasuda, right? It's a person from where I'm from, right? I walked in the store one day and there's a lady standing there and she reminded me of Sarah Wasuda. The next day, all of a sudden, my son now mentions, oh, you remember da-da-da-da-da, because my son dated her daughter. And he mentioned the daughter, which I thought was crazy, because yesterday I literally walked into the store, and so it could be as simple as that. But most of the time, it's the thing where you say something, you think something, then it's manifested into your realm, right? All right. But if I change the way everything is going, or everything is being worded, or everything is being said, but mind you, also in the process of that, know that nothing is new under the sun, right? Nothing is new under the sun. So this is why we see, buildings underground, and this is why we can go find artifacts and things of that nature, right? Now, one of the things that I have been thinking about and learning and trying to, put into my brain and understand is, why is it that a long time ago we had better? We had better. We had better buildings. We had better structure. We had better energies. We had, the village. It takes a village to do a thing, right? And if you think about it, right now we're supposed to be in the, most technologically advanced, society, this, that, and the third. But if you go back and you start to look at certain things, why does it look like we have been regressing the whole entire time? Like, they'll tell you that this happened in his story. But meanwhile, if you look at it, it keeps being an interruption by the same energy, right? And this is the thing that we have been talking about. So not that anybody has to say it's this or this, it's an energy. She said, because we don't have community. And then the communities that we do have are what? So that also goes into this thing. So the lady the other day, and again, this is not about this or this, so just be mindful. But as I'm talking to you, understand it's not about this or this. I'm gonna be saying this or this, but it don't got nothing to do with that. So everybody was upset about the lady, that the Cinnabon lady, right? And so because she said she is this, she's a mind you, I didn't have a problem with nothing that lady said, right? Because she can be that. She can be that. As long as when she's doing whatever she's doing, she's not trying to inflict anything on anybody. So the people that she was talking about, they took it as this and this. But meanwhile, they wasn't even this as far as I'm concerned. I'm this, right? So they were a whole nother everything, ethnicity, right? But when the thing played out, when the story played out, this is when I learned something that a lot of didn't actually really understand or know. So she's beefing with them. She took it as saying this, that she was against this, but they were from a whole nother culture, a whole nother religion, or a whole nother area, right? They come to find out they were Somali, I think is what she said, or what was happening. Lo and behold, then there was an issue with the Somali people and this, because they have been given, I told y'all, it's a card. Like, mind you, it's this kind of card. So you either get this card, or you get this card, right? Right? So I have this card. They, on the other hand, should be classified and should know that if they look in the mirror on the daily basis, they should have known that they were this card. But because the system is so heavily poorly constructed, it wants to put this and this against each other. Mind you, if this don't exist and this don't exist, nothing exists. You know how it's like the yin and the yang? When you see that, you have to have both things in order for it to exist, in order for everything to run smoothly, right? But because I keep saying, what is the elitism is a hell of a drug, right? I have to feel like I'm better than you in order for me to, thrive or survive. But as far as I'm concerned, and from where I'm sitting, if I was better than you, I don't have to tell you. I don't have to come over and do stuff to you. Like, I just wouldn't have to. But anyway, long story short, they wanted it to be a thing where, we arguing with this lady over here, the YT lady, because she's mad at the, they had an argument with the Somali people or whatever. Meanwhile, the Somali people don't even like black people, right? And so they say they do, but it's a cultural thing. mind you, has nothing to do with nothing. Do you not see how, as long as we're focused on this and back and forth, we're not focused on what the real problem is? I don't want to argue with anybody at all, period. Thank you. I shouldn't have to argue with anybody about basic human rights or common decency. I shouldn't have to argue with anybody about that. But as long as they keep the structure on this, nobody's paying attention to the moves that are being made to continue on the regression, or us lacking or not moving forward into. So you would think that if somebody's in control of the system, let me figure out a way to make the system better. That would be the thing. Good morning, Chico. Thank you for being here. Love you. So if we're trying to figure out how to make the system better, how do we do that collectively? So approval or support, a kind or helpful act is favor done for someone. Favor is grace in motion. We're being given grace in motion. Enough time for us to all collectively line up and see that it's not against this. It is a system. It is an energy. It is, for some reason, I want to say a default, but a fault in the plan or something. I don't know. Favor is positive base. The tendency to view a threat or respond to something more kindly due to trust, familiarity, or perceived value. Because we talked about value too. At what cost? At what cost are we willing to either give to something or not give to something? And as y'all know with anything, it's only worth what you're willing to give to it. So somebody could say, I could give you this microphone and to somebody this could mean nothing, right? But to somebody else it could be, you know, she put her energy on it, it's I'll give her $1,000. Somebody else could say, oh, it's worth way more than that, because, you know, whatever their thought process is behind it, to you it could be worth something more than it could be worth to somebody else. So we're talking about peace and alignment in a world, right? So the energy surrounding you refers to a subtle field of influence created by your thoughts, emotions, intentions, beliefs, and actions. Spiritually and psychologically, it's what people feel when they're around you. Even before words are exchanged, something is only worth what you're willing to give. So yesterday I told y'all a story that I went into a building. Thank you. I went to a building, into the mall. I have not been in the mall forever and a day. I went to a mall because I was going to find a jewelry store that would purchase this ring for me, right? This is a ring that I have for forever and a day. Old wedding ring. I don't need it. I would prefer to have the money, right? So go into the jewelry store and I tell the man, you know, I just took this out of the safe. I got my receipts and everything for it. Came from Zales, document, paperwork, everything, right? So this is how much I paid for it. This is what it is. They said what they want to give. Nope, you can't give that. Anyway, long story short, it wasn't even about that. The man that was behind the counter says, you have good energy. I need something of yours. Instantly, anybody spiritual, y'all know what they get ready to try to do. Try to energy harvest, right? Because I need something of yours. You have good energy. Can I buy your shoes? Nigga, no. Like, why would you ask that? But again, we have to be mindful because we may think that it is, you know, what's the word? Not a coincidence. It is, something maybe not to pay attention to, like, but a spiritual person instantly would pay attention to, why do you need something of mine? Why would you want to walk in my shoes? That's what I said to him. He said, oh, because I got good energy, you want to put your feet in my shoes. Mind you, this is the thing. People don't understand. Favor ain't fair. Even if I gave him my shoes, his life would crumble. One, you have bad intentions. Two, God will sometimes use us to demonstrate to a person why you shouldn't have those intentions, or why you shouldn't be, you know, secretly trying to do something, right? Because this is what people do. Unbeknownst to you, because I walk into the mall for the first time in forever and a day, I'm a happy person. Even in the midst of anything that I'm going through, I'm a happy person. So, and this is also another thing. In the midst of 20 minutes, I had 2 men, and it don't matter about the, but 2 men tell me, you have good energy. After I left out of that jewelry store, I went walking down the hallway. The security guard told me how beautiful my smile was and told me I have good energy. So energy's on the table, right? Because this is Earth School. So we pay attention to everything that's happening around us, right? So instantly, that was a confirmation. You have good energy. So then I'm walking around in life, and this is what I'm telling y'all. So we could be walking around going through whatever it is that we're going through, right? And the reason why you could potentially be going through it is because this system is energy harvesting. This system is taking. And I'm going to tell you why. So you could go purchase a house, right? And you'll be saying, oh, I want to purchase a house. I'm excited because I can purchase a house. I want to do all of these things, right? Nobody has ever owned a house in my family, or I'm the first person that owned a house, or we're the 10th person that owned a house. We own property. We own all of this stuff, right? So when you go buy the house, you're looking at, they'll say, this is a $350,000 house. In the midst of that, you could be the person that, never have owned anything, and you're just excited because this is getting ready to be my first house, and I'm happy to buy a house. Not knowing, unbeknownst to you, that when you go purchase a house, insurance is also now an undercover purchase that now you're about to, not only are you paying $350,000 for your house, but now the insurance figured out how to weasel their way in, and this system has let them do that. Because now you need insurance, and then the taxes come along with the system, so you may not have even bargained for that. You need a car, so you're paying for your car now. And you're excited because you're going to go buy your first car, and your car is $300. But this system don't tell you, or this system now sneakily is things that are tagged and attached to what's happening. So you get the car, and your car could be $300 something. You get car insurance. And then after that, they tell you got to go pay for tags. And then, here I'm in Georgia, so every year is something else. So they're figuring out, so this is also your energy. Be mindful. So having tags that now come along with it. You show up, it's great energy. So this person now wants to tag along sneakily in your energy. And unbeknownst to you, you could potentially be doing shit that don't have nothing to do with you. It's tied to somebody else, somewhere else, that's observing and absorbing your energy. But it also gave me like the universe. Like you walking around, it's like a hot plate. Y'all see now, instead of a person taking their time to go outside and ground and put their feet on the ground or hugging a tree, they have now designed mats to ground you. All you gotta do is go outside and hug a tree, and not for nothing, because I want to see how it works. I want to get one, right? Because, like, why would I not? But why would we just not go outside and walk on the ground and hug a tree? Y'all know why? Because people laugh at, people that's hugging trees. How many times have you been offended, or a person try to use an offense to you? You're a tree hugger. Meanwhile, that's how you ground. It has been proven that, we're connected. And so if I go outside and hug a tree, I could get my energy, back up to natural levels if I just take my shoes off and I go walk on the ground. But meanwhile, I designed you houses and things of that nature because I need for you to want more and more and more. So now I'm going to give you, what I consider to be better stuff. But meanwhile, have y'all also not noticed that every time we have to adjust, we have to all go back to the natural things like gardening? But mind you, they want to take control over gardening, because if y'all figure out that you can heal yourself, our shoes used to not have rubber soles and we were always grounded. Exactly. So they made sure that they keep you less connected because that's also a thing. The further away from God and the connection to the earth we get, the worse off things are. But the closer, because that's why I'm going to badger you about, you being a tree hugger, because I don't want you to know that. I want to give you stuff that now I can be able to control, or I can absorb more of your energy and take away from you instead of giving you something to power you. So I'm going to put you in a house, and then now I'm going to tell everybody they have, a vitamin D deficiency because of the fact that y'all never go outside. So now you have to take this. Meanwhile, if you go outside and you get connected to Mother Earth and, God and the universe, everything that's growing and living, you can do it naturally. But I don't want you to know that. I need you to have to come to me for everything. So I'm going to keep giving you things that make you have to come to me, but also I don't want to take care of you. I don't want to take care of your illnesses. I don't want to take care of all your, kids. I don't want to take care of your needs, your basic needs, but I want to keep doing things to make it so you need this system, or you need me more and more, because I want to get something from you. I want to take something from you. And whether or not we see it or not, and a lot of us will see it, a lot of us will, know it, but meanwhile, we still do it. Why? Because we like stuff. I like the fact that it's hot. This fan work. Like, I can instantly turn it on and get some air, and I don't have to get up and go. It's the convenience of it all. But when we figure out that the convenience is also, we shall perish for lack of knowledge. Everything that we needed, we were already given. So why do we feel like we have to do anything other than what was naturally already done and given? Your energy is your aura, or your frequency. When you're aligned, grounded, and authentic, your energy feels calm, clear, and magnetic. I'm a person that sit in front of y'all, and I tell y'all all the time, I have what I have, and I don't have what I don't have. I'm also a person that sat in front of y'all, and I told y'all, be mindful of the people that y'all watch, that y'all listening to, because you have to be mindful. This is the fastest way for me to come into your living room. This is the fastest way for me to get to you. So whenever this platform, or whenever it started, there's an entity that's weaving its way through, because kill, steal, and destroy. Kill, steal, and destroy. So now nobody's, really outside or anywhere. You're not gathering anywhere. Remember, it used to be a time when you could look up and be the kids knocking on the door. The kids would go outside, because during my time, we was outside playing double dutch. The block would be full of people. You knew this family, you knew the next door neighbors, you knew everybody that was around the neighborhood. That's how I grew up. And so when it was time enough, whenever 10, 11, 12 o'clock, whenever you could be outside earliest, you would want to go outside, right? And that was the way. We would be, see you later. Thank you. You would want to go outside. You want to see, he said outside all day. Yes, outside all day. There are some kids, they play football, they play sports, this and the third. They might be the ones that, are outside. Some people playing soccer, da-da-da-da-da. But the majority of the time, even if they're doing the sports, when they get home, what are they doing? A lot of kids start being raised early by, the platforms. So somebody was telling me something yesterday about a child that, apparently the parents wasn't paying attention to their iPad or something. Child changed their language to Japanese. And then they're wondering why the child's not talking, because they're speaking to the child, but meanwhile the child done learn Japanese. So the mom is saying something's wrong with the kid. My kid has to be, something wrong. Come to find out, the settings were changed. The kid learned Japanese. Simple and easy. But you let your child be, the babysitter is now the devices. Not, big mama, not the aunt, not the, and, even there were flaws even in that, because we have to remember that a lot of us have been subject to, whatever that is from back there. So even if that happened, we still have to figure out a way to move into the next cycle and it still be beneficial for you, the children, and the growth of mankind. So what is happening right now? Because even then, back in my time, that A word that keeps popping up with the children, we didn't have that. They started that stuff when, they was talking about the Ritalin and da 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 da. That started during the time, like, when I started having kids. But instantly, as it was automatically a thing. But we got to remember, our system lets them push these things off into the system, into our cycle, and then now it's complications and problems behind it. But nobody's saying that these people should be held accountable, because these people should actually be held accountable. But for anything that allows a system to be able to monetarily be funded, there's always going to be a problem. And so it's like the thing, awaken people. I have to bust everybody's bubble, because I had to tell y'all yesterday. We woke up to, the conditioning of a situation or a system. Meanwhile, we're still now being conditioned in a system, because the algorithm is only going to push to you, like the person that just said, I never seen you before. Because my system just got changed, and I just pushed the button behind the scenes, and now all of a sudden it's then integrated into this platform, is kind of mimicking that platform. Because over here on the TikTok platform, there's already been a thing like gifting, right? So they could be on there, they could hit the button, they could send me hearts, da 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 da, and made it so now they can see where at this point I'm at 1,900 likes, hearts, where people have been pressing the screen, right? But also over here, they know that they can, send me roses and this, that, and the third. So this system is now starting to mimic, or this system is now starting to mimic this system, because of course they want to figure out more ways to bring added, monetary to their platform. So they'll act as if it's happening to help me, but meanwhile, it's also helping the platform, right? And then sooner or later, after they get that part together, they'll try to figure out, again, how to, let me pull from the people who are doing the work. Mind you, myself, am probably on platforms in other countries, because I do a lot of content and this, that, and the third. I'm also dealing with, advertisers, this, that, and the third. So it could be that I could be now on other platforms in all parts of the country. Mind you, on my platform right now, we have Africa, we have New Zealand, we have a lot of this. Mind you, it's places inside of those places, Egypt, all of those, Nigeria, everybody. Because my channel is they come in here and they say, oh, we from Hawaii, or we're from Puerto Rico, we're from New Zealand, we're from Australia, we're from da 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 da, India. So my platform has a lot of different people, right? So unbeknownst to us, it could be being pulled and put, wherever. So to them, I could be monetized in multiple different ways, because I do a lot of different content, right? And as long as it is continuing to, do a thing, and I don't mind the fact that, everybody got to do whatever they got to do. But when the system starts to pull more energy than what they're paying for, or what they're, giving, they want you to know or not want you to know, the point of it is if I can now come and figure out a way to put an algorithm to now control what y'all see or what y'all don't see, or even what you go look up, I'm still conditioning you. So we went from one conditioning to another conditioning. So even when you're awake, you're still inside of a system that is figuring out ways, as we grow and as we learn. Guess what the system is doing? Learning to still keep us pigeonholed into the system. How do we break out from that? So that is the question. I'm in front of y'all, and I've been asking a lot of questions lately, because who the hell knows? Who knows what to do outside of, this is actually happening. And if I continue to talk the way I talk, about, because I'm always going to tell you the truth. I'm always going to ask questions that make people think in a way that says, if we have free will, and that's supposed to be a real thing, I don't want any boundaries or algorithms or systems trying to force to listen to stuff, deal with stuff, or engage with stuff that has been paid for. It's like the thing that, the songs. So I told y'all the other day, it's like a song. They get on the radio and either they can pay for it or not. I don't know how it go. But I'm telling you right here, I know there's a song that's being paid for that literally I did 1,006 videos for, because You can make money off of, or you can do, something monetary, or you could do whatever it is off of, this song. But meanwhile, what if you didn't even like the song from the beginning? Somebody could have heard that song from the beginning and said, I didn't like that song. It's like how you hear something on the radio. You be driving along in your automobile and a song comes on the radio and you can say, I don't like what that represents. I don't like what it stands for, da 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 da. But because you got to go to work the same route every day and that song's going to play the same time every day in rotation 9 times out of 10, before long, without you even thinking about it, you're now humming and singing the song. So if the algorithm plays it to you multiple times, you could potentially now fall into that category. But then there's a other thing that happens, right? Because our system is strange. And I'm going to say strange because now all of a sudden there's something that's showing up. And it's weird to me that people are doing it. It's like you're paying money to do this, but what is it about? And again, I'm going to call the biggest players in the system. I'm going to call all the celebrities. And then I'm going to put them in the building. And it's weird because you're going to be dipping some stuff and on something that's in a pool. That's weird. But mind you, the biggest celebrities and their children are there. And everybody in the comments is saying, what the hell is this? But I can almost guarantee you that pretty soon, it's going to be a worldwide, well-known thing that this company that you're out here, like, that's weird. But it's going to be made less weird because all of a sudden it's going to be like, boom, guess who stepped in the room? And now all of a sudden your kids are going to be asking you, can you get me this little da-da-da-da-da? Mind you, I seen what they were doing. That's strange. It's like the ball pit when somebody says they took their kid to, some ball pit or whatever. But when they go to look at the ball pit, it is a head right here. And then it's an arm and it's a leg and a foot. But the kids are in the middle of the ball pit playing. Why do y'all keep wanting to put kids in places where it's like a bathtub with, like, what the heck is that? Is that not strange to y'all? But the more you see it, the more the kids, oh, we want to go to the ballpark, da 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 da. No, because I don't want you in a ballpark where there's a grown, whatever that is. But it keeps being seen and shown to the tune of when your kids see, oh, I want to go to da 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 da. This celebrity child was there. You didn't think that was weird? That y'all out here dipping and like pouring stuff on. But I'm going to desensitize y'all. And I'm going to say that because I grew up when you couldn't cuss. Like, you would get, what is that, FCC, something, regulations or something, if you said da-da-da-da-da on screen. You couldn't take no clothes off. Like, I grew up during that time. You could only see, like, you couldn't show this or that. Now, it is, I'm watching full grown, same, go at it. Like, y'all don't care about what the kids are watching, but the people will say, you need to watch, you need to control, parental control your children. But at one point in time, you couldn't do, like, let the kids be the kids. But now, that's not what's happening. Everything is being overly, you should want to be this, or you should show this. Like, nobody cares about that. But again, it could also be the form of control, because I may have been conditioned to think that these restrictions that were already placed, because you couldn't say the B word, you couldn't say none of that. Now you can say whatever curse word you wish to say. You can take off and put on whatever you want to take off and put on, and it don't matter. And pretty soon, excuse me, if I condition y'all enough to think that this is okay, everything is okay, then guess what? But in my mind, it's never going to be okay to expose little people to any of that. Let them grow up to be whatever they're going to be. So who's going to help with that? And if there are the guardians, because to me, they're not yours. You are just the vessel that, was allowed, permitted to be able to bring them into the system. And you're supposed to them and make sure that you do the best by them for them to be able to, grow into the best that they can be. But meanwhile, we're all being subject to whatever this system is trying to push off to us. And if you're okay with that, then you're okay with it. But if you're not okay with it, I'm going to force it on you anyway. God, that goes against my free will. They're not authorized to do that. Well, you're in the system. Hey, Majestic Grace, welcome. Thank you for being here. So with that being said, if you're here and you're new to my channel, I love you and welcome, and thank you for being here. About hard things and whether or not right, wrong, or indifferent, if it's being exposed, I didn't do it. All I'm going to do is bring it to you and tell you that this is here. This is what is being talked about. This is what's on the table. I am also on Spotify, broad-minded, because, you know, I'm a female. It was a little pun. I'm a female, broad. You know how they call us. But also it is, you know, broad, like the thoughts and things of that nature. So some days we may be happy, some days we may be sad, some days we, you know, we always going to be in the middle, but we always going to talk about it. Don't kill the messenger, because I tell everybody, I come in peace. I come in peace. I'm not doing it. I barely go anywhere. I'm going to sit in front of you and I may, you know, have an opinion about something. I'm growing. I'm learning. I want to be better every day. I want to be better tomorrow than I am today. I'm learning. So I'm going to be asking questions. I'm going to be you know, as we see stuff, I didn't do it. Don't be mad at me because, you know, it gets put on the table. And the only way we heal it, or only way we get through it, the only way we understand it is if we talk about it and discuss it. So I know everybody be real and, you know, sensitive about this and this, but even in this and this, I never hear a man commented. I never hear a man. I don't know what they said. Rely on man for support. Oh, they're liking the thing. So in the process of that, if in fact we don't know, or I don't know, I don't mind going to look something up for you. But also, when you bring something to the table, like in the comments, you can definitely have conversations. We have great people that are here that will help, and you could be going through something that somebody else can be going through. Mind you, we deal with a lot of weird and strange stuff that maybe nobody would want to talk about, or you feel like you can't go tell somebody else. Like, if you go back through my channel, you will hear a lot of stuff that could sound strange. It happened to me. I went through the dark night of the soul. I had a spiritual, like, it was traumatizing, but it was also beautiful. So nothing is weird. Nothing is a coincidence. And when one thing exists, so does the other. Okay? So even though, you know, that's why I said it could be the best of times and also the worst of times. Everything happened at the same time. But we have to be mindful that if we know we have favor on us, God gonna work it out. God is always gonna work it out. And in the process of that, I say another thing. I can talk to you about a lot of stuff, but my love for God and one God only is never going to be questioned. Why? Because I wouldn't be here. And not what other people say. Like, people will say they believe in God, but meanwhile, they'll come in here and start attacking me because they don't understand. Or they'll come in here and say, what am I? A person that love God, that's it, that's all. If you're trying to classify me in any other form or any other fashion, that's a you problem and not a me problem. I'm always going to stand on, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. So don't be mad at me if you wrongfully try to advance on somebody and then I say, you know, you should have beat their ass. Like, you know, or talk to God about it. And, you know, God may say, turn the other cheek, because I did that too. When I first came here and I sat in front of everybody, hands up, I come in peace. Like, I'm telling y'all, this is what I'm going through. Went through divorce, went through this, went through that. Like, a whole lot of traumatic stuff. Mind you, I came here, I sat in front of everybody and I told everyone what was happening, because that's all I got. All I got is the real, true me, who I am. I'm not going to sit in here and tell y'all that, you know, this is great always or this is wrong always. Because this could be great and wrong at the same time. Don't ask me about anything pertaining to, you know, your sobriety or any of that, because at the end of the day, I'm not the judge of that. And you're going to go through what you're going to go through, because whatever your testimony is or whatever your purpose is could be tied to whatever you have gone through. Everybody got demons, whether or not they want to say it or not. So spiritually, even those people that are doing the weirdest things that you wouldn't do, that you could not even do because it's not in your system to do, that's a demon. They need to be able to control it. Figure out what it is, what it's tied to, control it. Nobody's perfect. Everybody has their whatever. That's why I'm never going to judge nobody's nothing. I don't know why God put you here. I don't know what your test is going to be or why you went through whatever it was you went through to get to the next phase of where it is that you need to go. You had to go through whatever that was. Whatever choices you had to make, nobody knows what hand you were dealt. Nobody knows the cards that you were given. From day one, from the time you entered into this realm until you leave, you have stuff that you're going to deal with that nobody else is going to be privy to knowing. It's going to be between you and God. And some of it may be somebody's business, and a whole lot of it may not be. But people will automatically think that just because you are here to help or you're here to give your testimony, they'll instantly think that they are to know that they got to be in all your business. If it's not something that is hurting or involving somebody else, it's not their business. But people will think that it is because they feel like, we have a connection. And a lot of our journeys run like this, like, simultaneous. I may tell y'all the story that has something to do with me, and you'll be saying, how the hell do you know that? Because I went through it. I'm only going to sit here and tell you what I went through. And it may sound the same, and our journeys may have aligned to the point where, hey, it feel hot because, my energy, it feel hot, and we definitely are connected. But meanwhile, at some point in time, our journeys may continue to do this, or they may do this. But as long as they're here and we can both, learn from or grow to, I'm all for it. Hi, welcome. So they said, Mike says, makes sense. And period. Because that's all I got. And that's another thing. It has to make sense for me. So even when I'm questioning certain things that are, written, because I love the holy books and everything else, but I go along to get along ass energy, because if it don't make sense, I have to start asking questions. And so some people will say, that's this. No. I have to ask because I need to know, because I need to make an informed decision. And if somebody wrote something that don't make sense, because I just told y'all, I wrote something, right? Because that's the way my DNA lights up when I hear a story. So when they tell me that this happened in the Garden of Eden, my DNA said also something else happened too. And, just because they wrote that story, don't make it true. Because I'm also a writer, and it could be, the greatest fable ever told, or it could be the truth as how my DNA remembers it, because I know that I done been recycled around here more than a few times. And so my energy, my DNA is remembering it differently. I don't care what them people wrote. Because if I write it and I bury it, in 50 years when them people go find it, guess what they're going to be saying? That my story is true. And the other thing is this. I write in cursive. I know how to write in cursive. So when somebody finds cursive writing and they say Talicia, because that's cursive, right? And a lot of people might not know how to read that. Your children, because a lot of the children don't know how to read in cursive. This is going to be foreign to them. So somebody else is going to come along and tell your child that hopefully they spell it right, or they might not know because it's IA, so they're going to be saying Talicia. They should sound it out, or however. Anyway, the person that can read this is going to be the person that tells the story. Your children, Ty, she said, let me see. It went too fast. Ty, I've been, it's a lot of stuff happening all of a sudden. My phone, but listening, and you are spitting hot lava. I only got the truth to tell you, Mike. That's all I ever got. So, whether or not people believe what they believe, at the end of the day, you don't have to believe nothing I say. But like I said, everything has to make sense to me. And if it don't make sense, like, I'm gonna have to be questioning it. Either way, in 15 years, matter of fact, I'll probably give y'all 10, because these kids, my son is 21. They stopped with him in cursive. So technically, it could be right now. They could find this, I could bury it, and then somebody else that reads cursive is going to be, it's going to be a person, they say they're a linguist or whatever, I don't know if that's right, or the person that decodes is going to be the only person that's able to read this. Meanwhile, I done buried the whole book. Right? And they don't know where that book's at. Somebody's going to find it. They're going to say, this is great, such and such, because whatever I write in it, and then the story of Eden is going to be what I said. You see what I'm saying? Because just like they have been writing and rewriting and changing and all types of other stuff, they expect for us to just follow it to the T, to the letter. But meanwhile, these people been lying. And I'm not saying they lying. They're showing you that they have been lying. But the fact that if it comes out of my mouth, that's what the algorithm wants to do. The algorithm that they designed wants to shut me up because I'm telling y'all, and y'all are seeing, y'all are looking it up for yourself. Again, I come in peace. I ain't did none of it. All I'm doing is pointing out that they're showing y'all that they've been lying on everything that they have been doing, but the algorithm wants to shut me up because I said, y'all don't see that they lying? Y'all are now getting the real information, but the algorithm don't like me because I'm also repeating and showing y'all what they have done. I don't know, they quit teaching cursive. Wow, kind of shocked. Oh yeah, they've been stopped teaching cursive. So again, I could write a whole book in cursive and your kids could find it. Your kids don't know nothing. I could tell the kids at this point, this is what happened. This person said, you know, they stole whatever because somebody stood in everybody's face and they said, this is how we did it and we stole this, that, and the third. They told y'all. They also talk bad about people and everything else. And meanwhile, like I said, I don't have an issue with nobody. I just listen. I'm thankful that the person is telling the truth. Hands up. I'm thankful that the person's telling the truth. Now, because you're telling the truth, now I get to make an informed decision. And I see that what you're doing in the process of you telling the truth, you're trying to now do this. Don't be mad that when my decision is made, that after you done telling the truth, because you can say that, you can do that, but you're not going to do it with me. You're doing a good thing. Well, that's what I try to do. Because again, this is another thing. And a lot of y'all are facing this. And y'all don't understand, but this is, I'm going to tell you why. Right? I have to be thinking how I'm supposed to, stuff might be an added loop within a loop. I told you, a loop within a loop. So, I'm going to do the right thing, right? And because I'm going to do the right thing, it's because I have to do the right thing. Because once you know better, you have to do better. So y'all know, y'all the type of people, the people that say, if I do that, God'll get me right away, right? So if you're that type of person, then you know that the minute you do something wrong, God be on that ass, right? But meanwhile, it be other people that can do something and they get away with it, right? So I'm telling y'all, right on this platform, right? On these platforms. So I was on TikTok one day. Mind you, I'm over here just trying to figure out how to connect my desktop to, you know, be able to stream, right? And I didn't know how. Again, I'm 49 years old. So, you know, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm great, but I'm not as good as, you know, somebody else would want me to be. So anyway, I'm trying to figure out how to connect my desktop to be able to get all my platforms so I can push one button and go live. Still ain't figured it out, right, yet. So as I'm doing that, it went live, but it made my TikTok screen black, right? Instantly, I get all types of warnings from TikTok saying you are in violation because your screen non-something, but I was in violation because my screen was black. Do you know how many times I scroll through this platform and I see black screens that last all day long? But somehow, the minute I did it, my ass got flagged. Oh, I'll do you one better. One day I'm driving because I done seen 1,000,000,006 people driving on this same platform. The minute I did it, flag, instant violation. Today, something happened. Like literally, it is a thing over and over again. But that is God also showing me like you can't do what they do. I expect better from you. You know that this is you. Everything with you has to be transparent. Everything with you has to be upfront. Why? Because I'm that type of energy. Like I know better. So I have to do the right thing. Mind you, some of the things I may do, people may be like, well, that's not da-da-da-da. Says who? Because I'm going to do what I want to do. But also in the process, because there's been stuff that I got told not to do. But guess what? I did it anyway. I did it anyway. So that's why I tell you, I sit in front of y'all as a person. I'm going to say, like, when I got connected to a person, right? I got in trouble one time and I lost gifts gifts and talents because I helped somebody that God told me not to help them. Again, the power of life and death is in the tongue. I grew up as a young person knowing that I could speak things into this universe and I could say stuff, and the way that I would say it is the way that it would happen, right? And so somebody else that got connected to me, and this is why y'all definitely have to understand, when they telling y'all that you're not dealing with people, you're dealing with principalities, energies, not wrong. That is a total fact, because energy is talking. Like my energy right now be talking to people way in different states that I've never met. Mind you, we proved this. So I know for a fact that this is the way. And that's why I'm telling y'all, y'all don't got to listen to nothing I say. I'm going to move accordingly because I know. So I'm going to move the way I'm going to move because of the fact that I know. So you don't have to listen. Anyway, if the energy is doing what it's doing all by itself, because the energy knows, and that's why I tell y'all, we're in, like, this moment in time is amazing. Like, certain things that's gravitating towards y'all, it's energy. The energy that's pulling it, and the energy that y'all are connected to, the energy is definitely weaving its way and doing a thing. And so there's a lot of supernatural things that keep happening, right? And so, again, be mindful. Everything exists, because I write in cursive, but technically cursive don't exist for some of y'all kids. I just told you my kid is 21. My youngest kid is 21. Cursive don't exist for him. He wouldn't even know what this is. He might know my name because it's like a, identity, but he can identify my name. But if I write everything in cursive, he might not know what the hell that is. So at this point in time, everything that's happening is intentional. Nothing is a coincidence. All right. So everything that's happening, even, which is the reason why I keep saying, focus on your focus. There's multiple timelines, multiple things that are happening. Everybody could be feeling whatever it is that they're feeling, but you exist where you exist for a reason. Whether or not it's a testimony for later, whether or not it's to show somebody something, or whether or not it's just to go through whatever it is to go through. So as of now, I'm going to say this. Something about 2024. No, not 2024. 2004. Something about 2004 is significant for right now. Because I can see where something that happened in 2004 is happening to me again right now in 2025. The exact same way. But I get to now make different choices because I get to see, and I'm being able to see that happened. That existed. And so I could either learn from it and do better from it, or I can fall into the same trap as to what happened in 2004. So life goes in cycles. So you may have to repeat something that maybe you failed at a previous time, or maybe we just want to see if you got it, if you know. You see what I'm saying? So that could also be a thing. So we got cursive writing being taken. Mind you, those hieroglyphs that are over there, that was our language. Why do we not remember how hieroglyphs, or to read hieroglyphs? Because it's intentional. They're showing you right in our faces what they did and how they did it. Now, what did they do then that now we can correct and not allow it to play out, or now give a different scenario? Because in my mind, it's like you can't even threaten somebody with death right now. Because in my mind, you can't threaten me with a good time. I would rather die trying to help this system fight for a better society rather than just fall in line under everything that they did. Why would you want your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids to repeat a cycle? Why would you want that? The only way out of this system, and the only way that we're going to be able to do what we need to do, is we're going to have to collectively come together and understand that we don't have no other choice. We already saw what they did before. This is the reason why, as of now, you can't read the hieroglyphs that are on the wall. This is also the reason why they won't let the people who own the stuff even go near it. They'll call in, oh, this is a specialist. You got to have a degree to get near books that were ours. I did that. I wrote that. I told y'all I'm a scribe. I done did it already. I done already been writing books. I done already did it. The books are buried. So now, later on, in 40, 50 years, the books belong to the people who are like me. But mind you, they will not have access to it. They're showing us in our face what has already been done. Are we going to fall for it again? It's like what I said about the system. It's okay for you to be a racist. It's okay for you to be a non-racist. It's okay for you to be whatever you are. Nobody should judge you for that. Be exactly who you are. You may have reasons why you don't like certain people. I was in the store, and the man that I was talking to the other day, he was a black man. I don't like them type of blacks. It is what it is. I don't have to. Because I know for a fact I have been places in this world, and I pulled up to a gas station, and another black man told me, ma'am, get your gas and go. They knew I don't belong there. Like, all skin folk ain't kin folk, and I'm sure it happens in multiple different races. But you're never gonna be able to convince me to look in a mirror and tell me that I'm not black. But meanwhile, there are people that are my color that these people have convinced to look in a mirror, and because they have white on their license, they have convinced these people that they are white, but meanwhile, they're going to say, I don't have culture. I got more culture than you. At least I understand that I'm black. You can never convince me to go and put my foot on another black person's neck to get something that I want. You never going to convince me of that. But somehow, they didn't convince black people all around the world that they're not black. Because they're not the black Americans. That's sad. So then you wanna berate me and beat me to death and make me think that I'm wrong because I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. Your skin color, the Chinese man that I told y'all came over here the other day, this man was my color. Like, you can tell if he looked in the mirror, but somehow somebody convinced him that he's white. My daughter is lighter than him. My daughter can pass for, but it's people that are, my daughter is lighter than. And they have convinced these folks because you came from a foreign country, and in that country y'all are, no, like that to me, like you don't know who you are, which is sad. And then you're mad at me. And then, like I said, if I say that, I'm saying that online, and guess what? I will get flagged. The algorithm will be mad at me because I can clearly see that I'm black. I can clearly see that they're black, but because they don't want to be black, it's a sin to be black. They said it's not skin, it's a sin. Yeah. It's a sin to be this color, but guess what? Every time I recycle under this system, if God has to send me back here again, every time I will choose to be black. There's nothing else I would rather be. Why? And that is me being proud of who I am. So there's nothing wrong with that. But also because I know the beauty of my heart, my soul, and my spirit. I'm not a bad person. You're not going to convince me that I'm a bad person. But most people will try to convince me that I'm a bad person because I showed up here under this. The system has tried to suppress me, and the system keeps trying to suppress me because of this. The minute I check off black, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm less than. That's what they said. You're never going to convince me that I'm less than, and that's why they're mad. Like, how do you have so much pride in, okay, God don't send the back water down and unseat God. She said, God don't send me back. And that's another thing. Like, I'm not judging them. If that is a thing, like, you know, white privilege is a thing. Just like pretty privilege is a thing. Ain't nothing better than being a pretty black woman. Nobody's gonna convince me of that. Not convince me of that. Like, that's what I am. I'm a pretty black woman. The best thing on this earth. So why can't they be proud that they are what they are? The problem in them being what they are is they want to use that abuse or that power to try to now come over here and fuck with me when I don't need your acceptance. I know what I am. I'm okay with being what I am. I'm okay with being around a bunch of people that are the same as me. We are not going to come over here and try to convince you now that you're wrong because you're, that. So even with that, I don't want to name call. I don't want to nothing. Just stick with your people. Let me stick with my people. Let us do what we going to do. You do what you want to do. You live over here. We live over here. And that's it. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. The problem keeps being that these people don't know how to control their feelings and emotions, and they keep wanting to feel like they got to be better than somebody. That's cool, but don't bring that over here. Keep that hating shit over there. Y'all know Dej Loaf. Keep that hating shit over there. Yep. Yeah, keep that hating shit over there. Because I'm never going to go anywhere near you. That's the beauty about me. I'm never going to go near you. I'm never going to come insert myself into your system because I don't need to be where I'm not wanted. Like, I know I can build whatever culture, whatever civilization, whatever it is, I know I can build that with people that are like me. So as long as the playing field is fair, what's wrong with it? The unfairness is what the problem is. They keep wanting to tell me where we need. That's the other part. You see what I'm saying? Just what land belong to us? Give it and get your ass going. And you take whatever it is you're gonna take and be okay with that. But for some reason that don't sit right with them. Like, how the hell could you be okay with that? This is how bad this shit is. Look. I hope I saved this thing. Yesterday I watched a video, right? And it was a man saying that the women don't want to be around the men, right? Mind you, if we're so bad, leave us alone. Why did this man literally harass this woman? The lady was not messing with him. Had no reason. He had no reason other than the fact that she asked him a question and this man could not move on and leave this lady alone. Let me see. I hope I saved this. Because the way this was so crazy, but that's the dynamic. Like, that's how it keeps happening. Let me see. Please let me have saved it. She was out in the middle of, she was riding her bike or something, and all of a sudden this man asked her something about a trail. She told him she don't know, and then he started circling him on her bike. And all I could think of is why, like, I was hoping she had that shit on her. Because people gonna learn to stop messing with people that ain't messing with you. Especially when pop. Because that didn't make no sense. Like, why did you have to go over there? And then he had the nerve to tell her that if she had answered his question from the beginning, he wouldn't be doing what he was doing. I don't gotta talk to you. Why do you feel like you gotta force me? I already said I don't want to talk to you. And I don't think I saved it. But when I find it, I'm gonna make sure no. When I find it, I'm gonna make sure I save it. But this lady was literally minding her own business on a trail, off her bike, just trying to meditate. Man comes, asks her something. You can't say lady is trying to be in peace right here, right now. He needed to insert himself. Like, emotionally responsible, mentally responsible is like, it's lacking. And that's why I said people have to make things make sense to me. We need to be all together. Yes, the people that need to be together, but if you don't want to be here, then why would I force you? There are a bunch of weirdos out there. You daggone right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Thank y'all for being here. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be with your group, but there is something wrong with you having to try to force yourself or your way into somebody else's situation or trying to implement systems that try to mess up somebody else. That's the part that I'm never going to condone that. Mind you, there has been his story of them telling you what has been done, how it has been done. God is now unraveling and revealing and giving us clarity on situations. You can't be mad at that. You cannot be mad at that. Now, what needs to happen next is getting ready to be the hardest part. That's what's going to be the hardest part. Because you have people that will want to say, oh, I'm all for you, but they will use their privilege to, like, because when the shit hits the fan, the shit's gonna hit the fan. That's the thing. So we can say, and I'm gonna pray this, because in my mind I feel like God is gonna do the thing that God is gonna do. It's like when during the time when we was doing the election and all them people kept saying, if this person don't win, then da 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 da, this gonna happen. Meanwhile, the major people that was saying it, right, North Carolina, South Carolina, dumb type of people, they were saying it. I think it was North Carolina. Anyway, and then all of a sudden, before that date came, God sent the flood. And all of a sudden, all those people that was running off at the mouth was under a whole lot of water. And I'm not saying that that should be the thing, but guess what? Before the flood came, you was online saying all types of ungodly stuff, that you was going to do all of this stuff. Like how y'all went to that building and how they climbed the wall and how they did all that stuff. When I saw that, to me, that's when I knew everything was done for. Like, that's when the system actually failed. We were done. So with that being said, to me, neither side is good. Neither side is good. Because you sat in that seat before this person, you sat in that seat after this person, and all of everything that's happening right now happened under everybody's watch. Everybody's. So that means that both sides are guilty. So nobody's ever going to convince me to, oh, we need to fall back in line and get underneath that system. Hell no. Now, what's going to be done is going to be what's going to be done. But if people don't understand that that system, both sides have failed us. And it was great while it lasted, but guess what? It's a wrap. So now we have to figure out what's next. And if we don't start talking about that, it's definitely already a problem. Because everybody wants to just go back to some form of normalcy. It's never going to be normal until we fix it, until we correct it. It's not going to happen. There is no more, let's go back to yesterday. No, because now you have been exposed to and you have been shown that both sides sat their ass in them seats, and all them kids and all of the people, that all of that stuff happened under everybody's watch. And mind you, we're just now talking about it. They already been talking about it. So everybody's watch has been tainted. So now what do we do? Now, with that being said, the way that everything is trying to be ran or conducted right now, God, as far as them people concerned, bought the floods, and then they figured out that the people that they was, gun-ho for, because I'm gonna come do this building thing again, them people didn't come save them. And then they was mad because you told us to do this, and then now you done left us hanging. Good, because you should have never believed them anyway, because they already told you. Y'all are not the same. There is a difference in when I say the same thing to my family, I'm looked at crazy. We gonna have to say, my people shall perish for lack of knowledge. Because even though it's being shown to us, again, it keeps going over everybody's head. Nobody's paying attention to it. And then, like I said, I get the algorithm, starts wanting to suppress me and get on me, because why do you notice that? And why? Because it's right there. Like, you did it and I saw it. Like, that happened. I didn't do it. All I did was tell people, did you see what they just did? Like, this is what happened. Like, I don't care what you want to read into it. They said this. And the first and the best thing you could do is believe a person when they show you who they are. Believe a person when they show you who they are. People can say a whole lot of things. They said this. They showed you that, though. And everybody showed us. They all sat there. This happened on everybody's watch. All seem to think that you're gonna have a great savior on, and then this is the thing that I'm literally watching. So now y'all gonna try to do that thing where, okay, well, we're gonna put this person, and I don't trust her either. I don't trust her. I don't trust none of them. And you're not going to now put a representative because they are the black, da-da-da. Like, I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for that. So y'all may fall for that. I'm not. Because to me, unless somebody going to start locking everybody up, and I mean everybody, that's the only way I'm going to believe them. And I'm still going to keep good eyes and good energy watching them. Because the whole system, everybody sitting in a seat, judges, all of them, lock their asses up. Because all of y'all are complacent in this situation. All of y'all have helped this situation get to where we are right now. And I don't care. Y'all know about the land being stolen. Y'all know about the people. Y'all know about everything. Y'all know about the kids. Y'all know. And once you know, it's like I said, when the screen goes black and the people says you're held accountable, that means now I'm held accountable. They didn't care whether or not, I knew or I didn't know. All they know is you getting this infraction because this is what happened. There are a bunch of weirdos out here of discernment. Yes, a whole lot of discernment. So now all of us are going to say, well, we'll take the lesser of the evils. How about we don't take none of them? How about now all of a sudden it says that we are allowed to do this? Why would we not take the option to say, let's fix it in a whole nother way? That system completely failed us, because if in fact I can come and pay for something, if I can pay for the vote or if I can pay for the seat, it ain't going to be no good. And meanwhile, because I'm saying what I'm saying, somebody out there, one of them people that can pay a whole lot, this system gets rewarded for bad behavior. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You are supposed to be rewarded based off of what you do. And there's a lot of people who are not getting credit for putting into this system a whole lot more than what somebody else did. But guess what? I got the money so I can pay to silence you. I got the money so I can take over your invention. I got the money so I can file this patent on your stuff. Like, y'all, it's a history of stolen. And until it gets paid for, or until somebody get locked up or something happens, this system gonna keep being the same exact way. So if I can pay for the seat, or if I can pay for your silence, or I can pay to, get you like gone, how are we gonna fix the system? It's like they're paying to lie. Yes, they are paying to lie. And then I'm gonna give you what I want. That's just like when the people are talking about the celebrities that saying, this happened, da-da-da-da-da. This happened with this person, but meanwhile, all y'all was at the party. Ain't nobody come and say nothing. Nobody came and said nothing. When they showed video of everything that was happening, that man ran down there, and I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out, but, these things went on for years. Everybody knows. So that means everybody that knew is guilty. Everybody that knew, to me, and I feel like if you get to heaven and you got to go through judgment and the pearly gates, because I think judgment time is now. This is the reason why everybody's getting what they're getting. Judgment time is saying, I'm going to expose this for this, that, and the third. But there's also a thing, because even in the connections, it is trying to figure out how to unravel these wires. Because once these wires start being like this and everything starts to get crossed up, the universe trying to figure out, and I say this all the time, the universe is going to adjust itself as many times as possible in order to fix what has been done. But if the wires are all crossed like this, like literally you may feel like you're being scrunched in a ball because of the fact that the universe is trying to get to the truth. The universe is trying to get to a straight line. Like, this what happened, this the truth. Meanwhile, everything looked like this because, everybody's crossed up. This person want to pay for this I had to cover up my part in this, because what would convince you to do this? Like, a good person, good is good, bad is bad. You could be indifferent to a situation, right? And if you knew that this is bad, you showed up to a place and this is what they had on the table. This was what was on the menu. You got in there and it was somebody laying like this. What's going to convince you to eat it? But for some reason, it's tasty. You should want to come eat this sandwich, and it's cold and it's going to taste good. But mind you, it got all types of, stuff on it. Kill, steal, destroy. And once you consume it, your system is now a part of that. So I want to shut you up. I'm going to come pay you $1 billion because you want to take this $1 billion, because your life is going to be a whole lot better. Your life is going to be a whole lot better. I need you to shut up. Like you exposing too much stuff. Or I could just take you off the map and call it a day. Like God, like this is the reason why I can see why people when they're upset and they like, you know, God, da 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 da, like how is this, like I'm trying to unravel it for y'all, but in the midst of y'all mad at the truth being told. Y'all suppress the system when it's being told. And then when I start offering you better, you think that what they offering you is the end of all end alls. Because remember, I told y'all when it is instead of this and you in the middle, because I told y'all I like the middle path. You know, I watched everything that's happening, and the people that are good, that say they good, because we talking about saying, right? Because these are the people that fall under this, and they say that they good, and this is what they show y'all. Meanwhile, their actions are fucked up. They ain't got no good in them. And have you ever noticed that the people that they consider to be bad, like they'll say this about this person, da, 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 but when you go to this person, or you'll notice that these people are always the ones that are helping. So somehow in this system, I told y'all, it's like the Twilight Zone. It's like the upside down. The people who sit under this do the worst stuff in Jesus' name. In God's name. Like, that is not what God told you to do. God did not tell you to take them kids and do... God ain't tell you that. Or what God was you know, what, like they told you to take somebody free will. Like free will is free because it belongs to that person that sold that spirit. Them kids didn't want to be with your big nasty stinking. They didn't want that. They told you no. They cried, and you still, because your power, you needed to feel something. You needed to insert yourself in a way that establishes your dominance. You're weak. You're weak. Because anytime you have to come and do something to somebody that is smaller than you, that's a weakness. That's a you problem. Because again, I ain't never had to tell myself that, oh, in order to make me feel good, I need to go bother somebody. Somebody that don't want to fuck with me. I need to go take something from somebody. But because they have what they have, and I need to be able to, like, that's why I asked y'all when I talked to the platform, and I said, if I gave you $1 billion today, would you still be a good person? What would you do? Because I know for a fact that God could be walking around here today, right in y'all face. Y'all gonna put him on that cross, or y'all gonna try to figure out a way, because ain't y'all can't believe that God showed up. And I asked y'all, are you a good person? Nope, you're a witch. God does miracles. Nope, you're a witch, you're a warlock. Y'all will condemn the very God that y'all saying that y'all love. What you want me to do? This is the mentality of the people. You can't blame me. You can't be mad at me. You can only be mad